Well, women are the first responders in their families in the first place, because when you give women resources to have her own finances, then she can actually develop a family on her own. So in eradicating extreme poverty, what you need to do is equip them with a job.
I believe the women are vital, mainly because they're the agents of this conversation. They're the agents behind this whole global crisis.
I feel like also women are really important in that they are really great communicators between different families. And as far as global poverty goes, I feel that they're big on agriculture, especially in different countries.
Take example of Liberia. The first female president ever in the continent of Africa. Her role is vital in shaping the country after so many decades of civil war. Having the female voice being heard, there's another way we can approach it.
I think that a lot of the issues, at least in the United States, lie in the fact that there's not really enough knowledge about it. There's not, people don't acknowledge that it's an issue. No one really talks about it. People don't want to change. With all the other conflicts and everything that's going on in the world, I feel like gender inequality kind of is put on the back burner. But that kind of perpetuates the idea that, the men are the stronger ones and the more responsible ones, and they're the ones who should be doing this.
We see that women are perceived as the ones who bear the children, the housewives, the weak species, and such things.
If you look at the way older generations behave towards younger generations, it's not just a case of the older men, it's also the older women who, for them, it's the way it's always been. And so they may not see the urgency that the younger generations do when they want to institute change.
The issue to me seems to be that while we have great laws at the national level, sometimes even at the local level, at the intergovernmental level certainly, a lot of these laws don't always translate to the ground. And that's part of the problem. These are top-down initiated, which is great, but at the same time we need to be focusing on mobilizing the ground. It has to be a grassroots movement that is willing to recognize and want to empower women.
Institutional and social stereotypes. Institutional meaning women in the workplace, who are often subordinated to men in the families, and women who are expected to conform to certain gender roles.
In some religions and in some cultures, that's what is expected of you. So it's kind of hard to get out of the norm because that's all you've known. That's what your life is about. You don't know anything else. Hard to change history when a lot of people depend on it.
And it just goes back to kind of traditional mindsets. And you can have advanced technology all you want, but if you don't change your ideas, then you can't reform the world.
No, I just think we should be treated as equals because we're all human beings. It's never too late or too early to start advocating for yourself and for other women. We can start using our voices in any outlets or facets that we find ourselves available to, and there's plenty of ways to get involved. You can go to school, you can write in your school newspaper, you can facilitate class discussions, or
having the lady's voice being heard can give different perspective to different ideas that can better our society. People are now willing to easily change their culture. So culture is is important. If you can shift the dynamic of culture, then the opportunity is there to make that well known, and people can get adapted to accepting that role of women being leading forces rather than men constantly being the superior. Just the step that I'm taking today, sitting here being interviewed about women role and advocating for that, that's a step forward.
Well, we have to kind of have a shift in cultural norms and how we perceive, identity and gender. If we can't lead by example, then how do we expect us to be treated equally?
Having young people, not just women, but young people, advocate for these issues, it sends a great message, and I feel like our generation is definitely going to be, I don't want to use the wrong term, but let's say a firecracker for all these changes that are going to come. And I'm just so excited because you can see them little by little changing just from us being kids to now.
Stay involved, get active, be part of everything you can.